call to order the regular meeting on Monday, December the 23rd, 2024 at 2 p.m. I went blank. I forgot your name.
I wish more people would.
So when you say the prayer, pray for me.
Please stand. Lord, we're gathered here today to conduct official business for the government of Stokes County. Give us the wisdom as we make difficult decisions that affect the lives of not only our citizens, but also the people that travel through Stokes County. And of course, looking forward to Wednesday on the 25th as we celebrate your birthday, Christ, and remember the sacrifices that you have made, and also as you also give us that patience level to understand other people's points of view. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do I have approval of the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
All in favor? Public comments? Christy Wilhelm? Did I say your last name right?
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Can I give you papers that I printed
Sure
out?
can.
Okay. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Off my phone though, I'm nervous, but. Okay. Should I start?
Yes.
Hope you're all doing well. My son has been trying to get a home for about 2 years now. He has an old single wide on Stokes Grading Drive that has not been livable for a while, so he decided he needed to do something. He originally was going to buy a double wide on land. He put down $4,000 and lost it because he realized the payment would be higher than expected, and he didn't want to get in over his head. He lost the $4,000 because he could not get his down payment back. That was really hard because it takes a lot of time to earn $4,000. My son is his hardest that he's ever tried in his life to work and earn enough money to live in a clean home and start a family. Most of the time he works at least 90 hours a week. They have been working every day, including weekends, because they're so busy, but he took time to be here. My son is getting promoted and he feels like everything is working out and he will have a home and his family. After he lost the $4,000 because he didn't want to live above his means, he decided he wanted to see about putting a double wide on his land after Clayton came out. They said it would cost too much money because there's a drop off in the back and a huge rock in the front. There's really only one spot to put the home and still use the existing well and septic because he only has an acre. This is when he decided to put a larger single wide. I made lots of calls and wanted to make sure I did my due diligence and everything was done correctly so there would not be any problems. I had the septic inspected to make sure it was good to put another home there and didn't know who was supposed to say what size home to go there, so I asked everyone. They told me to make flags of where the new home would be, so I put the flags out for the larger home, and one flag is still up in the ground now from when I marked it. Back when we got the permit. After I had the septic inspected on July 1st, 24, I asked what size home could go there, and they said just stay 5 foot off of the septic. Let me back up also. On 2/19/24, someone said it would be good to have the survey. I called and requested it, and Michaela Dotson sent it. I've shared it with Clayton, my loan officer, multiple people in the county, and everything seemed to be okay. After we got the septic inspected, they said just stay 5 foot away from septic, so it seemed any single wide would work from that statement, but I wanted to make 100% sure before we ordered the home what was the largest size he could get. We wanted to find out before he started looking in person He had just been looking online. So I called and asked again, and they said it would be best to have someone come out and look at it. And I said that would be great. We set up, I met with Robert Taylor. He was very nice. We talked about things, and I told him we wanted to make sure what size could go there before we picked out a home. I still had the flags up. I told him we originally wanted to put a double wide, but we didn't think it would work, so we would probably go with a larger single wide, but wanted to make sure what size he could get. He said to give him some time and to do some research, and he would let me know. I said, I think I still have the survey, so let me find it and I can send it to you. In the meantime, Cody had a day off and was able to look at homes, and that is when we found the 16 by 76 home. And I emailed Robert Taylor back on 8/4/2024 and said, I hope you're doing well. We looked at homes yesterday and found one he really wants. It is a single wide 16 by 76. I hope this will work. Thanks so much and have a great day. He responded on 8/5 at 9:41. Good morning. Apologies for the late reply. I ran the issue by planning and zoning director and explained the situation. As long as you replace the mobile home with another single wide in the same place, it will fall under the right of replacement. You should have no issues on our end. With that being said, I sent it to Clayton. They ordered the home because the email said any single wide in the same place and stay 5 foot off the septic from permit. I gave Robert Taylor the exact size of the home he wanted, and I said I wanted to make sure before I ordered it. I even asked multiple people, and they said if it is bigger, it is fine because there are most are a couple feet bigger anyway. We have had the appraisal done, paid for it for the new home, put the down payment, closed on the home in September. The home has already been ordered and should be here in January or February at the latest. The loan is already done. We had to sign over his land to Clayton and pay closing costs so they could pay it off, and he was supposed to have someone picking up his old home in the next week. But we have delayed that because Eric Nance in zoning said we had 90 days to replace it with a new home, so I put a hold on that until we could get this took care of. Around the beginning of November, Tyler from Clayton, he is the site coordinator and in charge of getting the home set up, was going to see about getting a building permit and how fast they needed to put a home where the old home was. They wanted to make sure because originally he had been told it had to be replaced within 30 days, but Eric recently told me 90 days. They were going to get the building permit, and that is when they were first told it has to be the same size. Scott, the manager from Clayton that's here today, called and told me, and I was all upset, so I called and spoke with Brandy, which is who talked to Tyler. They called and spoke with Brandy. I called and spoke with Brandy, and I told her I was told the home has to be the same size, and I was about to have a heart attack because we had already got the home ordered that he wants, and she verified that it was okay that it was bigger. And she said she remembered talking to me, and she went out on leave, so she knew I had been dealing with this for a while. She made me feel better because she reassured me the home size was fine. I'm sure if you have recorded phone calls, I'm not sure if you have recorded phone calls or not, but that is exactly what I was told. My husband, Jeff, that is here today, also witnessed the phone call and can verify that is what she said. She also said to go ahead and get rid of the old home and make sure you get a building permit within 30 days. I said good because I was about to have a heart attack because we have been working so hard to get this far. And she said, no, you're fine and it'll be fine. She said she remembered me from before she went out of work and she is back. She said everything was fine and not to worry about it. I asked her, I looked back at my calls, and I believe it was November 6th or 7th, if she could send an email to Clayton to let them know everything was fine and that home size is still fine. And she said she would just be in contact with Scott and Tyler, but everything is fine and not to worry about it. I called Scott right after that conversation on the phone and told him I talked to Brandy, and she reassured me everything was fine and that the bigger home is okay. I feel like I did my due diligence and talked to multiple people that assured me that the bigger home was fine. I just don't understand how I can be told that it was okay and it's not now. I understand people make mistakes, and maybe they did, but my son should not lose everything he has worked so hard for because of that. Please say that they can put the new larger single wide in the place of the old. They are starting a family and need a good, clean place to live. It will fit. I've measured everything multiple times. I would understand if we were at the beginning of planning and this, but there's a lot of money and time at stake, and he's signed over his land to Clayton. He's paid attorney fees, closing costs. He has a loan in place and a loan officer that's done a lot of work. We sold his land to Clayton because we have in writing that it's okay to put that size home there. The old home is a 65 by 14 and the new is 76 by 16. It will fit, and it's not that much bigger than the old. He can't lose his money because someone overlooked the size of the home that I sent in email, and because I was told multiple times by different people that is fine. The only reason Robert Taylor came out in the first place was to determine what size home could go there. That is why I requested someone to come out. Eric Nance called Clayton and spoke with the manager, Scott and Tyler, about the situation, and Scott told Eric, went ahead and proceeded because I saw the email stating that it was okay to put the home there. They thought they needed to go ahead and pay for another survey to be done, so I contacted W. Mark Sizemore to come out and mark everything to do another survey. Mark said, before I start, I want to go ahead and talk to Eric and someone about the well and septic before you spend a lot more money. He was very helpful. He said he had no problem with the well and septic. They could do a variance. But he said he talked to Eric and the same size home had to go there. He said it'd probably be best just to come before the commissioners like I am today and tell my story. Also, before that, Eric said I would have to talk to Brandon about the well. I spoke with him and he said I could get a variance on the well. I just need to do 2 more applications for a well variance and existing system approval. And he has said the well variance should not be a problem. Can anyone help me find a way to make this work and give me direction? Thank you for all your help today, and I hope y'all all have a great day and a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Do what?
I took his time. I couldn't get it all out in 4 minutes.
Cody, you can still, you're Cody, I assume. If you want to say something, do it.
She pretty much covered
Okay.
And more.
And she done a good job, too.
it. Yeah, I think so.
Jeff?
I'm Christy's husband Cody sat there. She has been stressed out and done everything she can do to make this happen for him. And Cody's been working his butt off, and he deserves it. And it's just we understand people make mistakes, but a simple apology like they've tried to do is just at this point is just not good enough. We don't know what to do really. So that's all I've got to say.
Richard Root?
I am the father of Cody's girlfriend, and I am also a site developer and general contractor in the state of North Carolina with an unlimited license. Cody's a good gentleman. He is. He's been working his tail off for the past couple of years trying to get this situation taken care of. We understand the variances. We understand setbacks. We understand how close you can be to certain objects. We're talking 300 square feet here. We're not talking, thousands of square feet. We're not talking, this isn't a multi-million-dollar neighborhood. This is probably, Stokes Grading Road probably will never ever be a multi-million-dollar neighborhood. Basically it's just some sliding some stuff around to make it work. So we just asked the commissioners to, and instead of throwing this out and making him start all over again, to kind of let's just be in the Christmas spirit here and be with God and be forgiving and just let it happen. It's not, this is, like I said, it's not a huge difference. It's not a huge spot. It just needs to be, slid around a little bit, and I think it can work.
Thank you. Scott Hicks?
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas.
I'm not trying to get on your good side, but I want to say when you prayed, it was very impressive. I wouldn't be here without him either. And I thought that was cool. I deal with a lot of counties. So, good job. When I met Ms. Wilhelm on the job site, and I asked her if she sent the survey, and she didn't. But I said, look, we're going to stop right here until you get the county out here and get this approved. because it was so tight. And I said, you don't want to close a loan until you have their approval. Well, she sent the email, and you guys are, in my industry, y'all are known to be very firm but very fair. And it's been that way I've been putting houses in your county for 17 years. And when I saw the email, I was like, well, we can close this loan because those guys say they'll do it. They'll do it. So I mean, if I'd say anything, I know somebody probably made a mistake. But when you close a loan, I guess you have a lawyer in here. It's binded, it's deed work done. There's no just backing out of that. These guys are obligated. As far as ordering a house, we wouldn't make them buy the house. We can sell it to somebody else. But they've got money invested that there's no turning back from. So I really would ask you to, like he said, be in the Christmas spirit and give them 5 feet and let them move into a new home. Thank you.
David Foster.
Well, I would say Cody's got a lot of support here today. I would like to think that if I ever had an issue that this many people would show up for me. I don't know that they would. Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't. But I'm proud to be here today for Cody, for his family. And I'm a real estate agent. I've done it a long time. I own my own company. And I've been the Wilhelm's realtor for years now. And I know the industry, I know it well. I've got a lot of respect for this family. I've got a lot of respect for Cody. His parents called me and they said, this was a year or two ago, however long we went on this journey and started it. They said, his mom said, Cody's living in a trailer that is really non-inhabitable. This is not a situation I really want to see my son in. Can you help us find a new place for him to live? This is before Clayton ever entered the picture. I said, of course, I'd be more than honored to. We went out, we looked out home after home after home for Cody, just trying to find him something within his price range. He's a young man, he's starting out, and he doesn't have $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 budgets. It was significantly less than that. So we looked at a lot of homes. Occasionally we would find one that fit his needs that was also in his budget. Hard part is when you're in his price range, that's a price range that a lot of people can afford. Not a lot of people can afford $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. So every time we made any attempt to get one of these houses for him, he was quickly outbid. So we had to move on. Heartbreak, and we move on to the next one. And again, we just saw this process play out time and time and time again. Finally, at one point in time, we actually get him under contract for one home. But I spent a long time on the phone with that seller and that other agent, and the only way they would sell this house to Cody is if he put $4,000 of due diligence down. And his mom called me in tears saying, I'm horrified for him to do this. I said, it's the only way Cody's going to get a house. So he put the $4,000 down. And the problem, as you all know, with the way North Carolina works is you do your due diligence after the fact. Well, he had been already talking to the loan officer, but by the time he finalized the numbers, Cody realized, I might be able to pay my mortgage, but I can't get groceries. I can't do all the other things. Had to back out, and he lost the $4,000. And I don't know about you all, but that's a lot of money. And it was especially a lot of money to a 20-something-year-old kid. And so we went back on the journey, and we looked and looked and looked, and nothing ever worked out. He was just constantly outbid. I mean, you know the story. So at some point in time, his mom and she called me and she said, I think we're going to go the Clayton Homes route, which honestly I think was a great route. Maybe that was going to be something that was a better fit for him, something he can afford, and so that's the route they went on. And I've never found someone to be as meticulous as this family is, because they left no stone uncovered when we were searching for homes. And then when it came to Clayton Homes, they would call me, what do you think about this, 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 and this, and this? Because I don't want to just take Clayton Homes' word for it. I need your opinion. You're a trusted, essentially, family advisor. And so we worked through all that stuff together, and I felt good about it. Clayton Homes felt good about it. Everyone involved felt good about it. until all of a sudden, 2 weeks ago or so, I got a call from Christy. I got a little emotional myself about it because it's hard. That she's terrified once again her son is going to be in a bad situation where not only is he going to lose money, but he's going to be out the only thing he does own, which is this land and a place to put a new home. And at the end of the day, all Cody wants is to live the American dream of having a place to call his home. It's the way us as Americans build our wealth. It's the way many of us in this room have built our wealth, is through home ownership. Cody just wants his opportunity at that as well. He's a good, productive, respectable citizen in this community. So we hope that you all will consider, this essentially somewhat of a small ask, just so that we can make this dream come home for Cody, or come true for Cody, especially here as we enter the new year. So thank you guys for your time.
Thank you. What, can I ask a question? What's the drop dead line to get you out of trouble? Or are you already in trouble?
We need to decide. There's really no time limit. I mean, they've closed along with the lender, so is it a construction or an in loan? I think it's an in loan, so it's really not. As far as financially, he's not.
And of course, it's ordered. And is it too close to the property line, or is it
Too close to the setbacks.
setback because of the extra size of the home?
Well and septic setback, I think, is the issue.
Well, actually, it's the front corner of the house. The well and the septic are on the back side of the property. So he will be closer to the septic, yes, but he's still within the 5 foot of, he still has plenty of room for the well and the septic, okay? It's basically the front right-hand corner of the setback. And that's what I was explaining is this road goes through here, and the setbacks were put back way back when. And like I said, there is no developing on this road. Stokes Grading Road is a road of trailers and trailers and trailers, and all of them have been there for decades and decades. And Cody's trailer that will be going in there is a brand new trailer, So like I said, we're only talking a couple of feet from the setback. That's all we're talking here. There's nothing going to be in the way. There's no, there is no traffic triangle. There is no utilities going through here that are in the way or nothing like that. It's just there's a rock ledge right on the front side of where the trailer is, and you can't move it that way. And there's a pretty good 8 or 10 foot drop off on the back side of the trailer. So you've got this one little slither to go through here, and so like I said, he's only going to be infringing on about 5 feet of the setback. Literally.
Mr. Chair, can I make a comment?
Sure.
So, I think that as our county manager, are you aware of this situation?
I am.
So, I think that's probably not I understand that the public comments is we listen, and then we can ask questions and go forward. But I just want to make sure that our staff is aware of it. And so obviously we'd want to hear their opinion and recommendation of what we can do. That's typically how we do business. So I guess do we want to continue to do business to where, our staff is aware of it? Obviously, there's going to be, an opinion. I'm not saying we can't overrule whatever that opinion would be, but I just want to make sure that this is the type of conduct or procedure. The public comment is great. I've been on y'all's side before I was on the board and come up with some stuff, but we just want to we just want to make sure that we're doing it the same, I think. If there's another opinion on the board, then that's fine too.
I think we need to get with our people and make a decision later. I mean,
Yeah, I
there
think
was
it's been,
one comment she made I didn't like. Bring it to the commissioners.
yeah, I'm not sure where they came from, but, so this has been helpful. I think all of us, myself included, have heard some things about this situation that we maybe have not heard in the past. And so, let us go back and mull this over again. I think what I'm hearing is a request for a variance. There's a set procedure and process for achieving a variance that goes, I think, through the planning board. And so, you know, if that's a path that they want to pursue, there's probably a fee associated with seeking a variance as well, although I haven't seen one done here yet. So I don't know what that looks like on our fees and charges schedule. But that's, the variances are typically handled by the planning and zoning board.
I mean,
At least
that's what
I'm used to.
That's what my recommendation would
Yeah.
be, that we follow just the normal procedure. We're not saying yes or no. That's just, otherwise we'll be doing this a lot, you know, if there's, and
And this probably is not the only situation in any county of the state. You know, it's you know, years ago they used a different way of surveying out land. Now they use a whole completely different, you know, way of surveying out land. Who's to know that when they initially put this trailer in here, it wasn't already, you know, within the, you know, the
Right.
setback lines, but it just never got surveyed. Now that you've got, you know, better surveyors out there now that know, you know, they can get their lines better than what they used to. It's kind of like infringing on it, but like, you know, once we said it's, you know, these are kids that are young kids, you know, they're out here running the roads, they're not out here doing drugs and you know, getting DWIs, and these are good kids that work their tails off, and they're just trying, and they need a chance. That's what they're asking.
so can I ask the someone from either assistant county manager or the manager to at least give them the, you know, who to contact to file the variance and the fees, and to give them the direction of who, you know, what's the next step and who to actually contact.
Direction will come from our planning department.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mentioned planning and zoning board. I a little bit of misstep there. It typically is the Board of Adjustments. In some jurisdictions, the Board of Adjustments is the same people that are sitting on the planning and zoning board. In some places, it's different. It's separate here.
Okay, thank y'all for coming.
I have a question. If it is a no, who's responsible for all the money he's out? Because we went by a yes in an email from the county. Now he's out thousands of dollars. Who's responsible for that mistake? It shouldn't be him. Who's responsible for that? That's my last question.
In my opinion, let us, I totally understand, and I believe what you've put in writing and everything, but I also want to make sure that the county has done their due diligence also with with Eric Nance and his people. Typically, when a complaint's filed, it's both sides are investigated. In other words, you find out this is brand new to us. We just come down and sit down and this is brand new to us. And so we want, you know, we have a county manager that handles the day-to-day business of the county government. And he's responsible to make sure policies are followed, and he's also responsible to, you know, for investigations to make sure maybe we need to tweak policy. But the bottom line is us sitting up here today, this is the first that we've heard it, and I know I want to make sure, because we have to make sure, we just have to we have to follow our policy and be fair to everybody. And if everybody could just come up here and we'll listen to everybody, but to make a decision today is to me is not fair to anybody. So that would be my take.
Yes.
I would agree with Brad to the, of what he said, we need to have the county manager handle this. I think the key point that I was thinking before he said it, I was wondering if he had heard all this before, and he said he has not heard all this information before, so whatever thought he's put into this previously will be rethought based on you guys coming up and sharing the information that you shared today. And I think he'll give it a fair look. And when Brad talks about following the process, getting variances is part of the process too. So he'll look at all of that and I think come up with a fair recommendation.
Do you mind if I ask you a question? Okay. So, I think part of the reason for all of us wanting to come together today and kind of make that case during this meeting too is, you know, it definitely sounds good. You know, I'm more than sure they're gonna go through the next steps, following what the procedures are to file variance and all of that good stuff. But will whoever is then reviewing it, once that's been filed, also kind of take into consideration everything that's been discussed here today, so that that is a piece of it as well? Because it's really easy to look at something in black and white on paper and go, oh, well, this, you know, I don't know, yes, no. But I think it was important, especially from an emotional standpoint and from a, you know, humanization standpoint for Cody, that we all be here to help not plead the case necessarily, but to make light of the situation that is here that's truly facing Cody. So will all of that be part of the consideration process when filing the variance?
None of us seated here today can speak for the members of the Zoning Board of Adjustments, but a key aspect of the way of Zoning Board of Adjustments approaches business is that all of their decisions have to be made in a quasi-judicial framework, which really means it's the facts. And do the facts as described in that hearing support the idea that there is a hardship created by the situation that does not allow the property to be used in accordance with the zoning as is currently described in our zoning ordinance. And when I say hardship, I'm not talking about the human nature aspects of hardship and difficulties of life. It's for example, does the shape of the lot, or is there something about it that does not allow it to be used as our zoning ordinance would otherwise require? Does that help?
And I think to your comment or your question, I mean, this is taped. So even though when the hearing goes on, that, you know, like the county manager was explaining, I mean, obviously, you know, they'll know they can always watch this. I mean, in terms of, you know, if you're looking at the human side element, but like the manager also said, you know, they're going by statute, what hardship is.
Will someone be getting in touch with us, or how does that work?
Our planning department will contact you.
One more question I gotta ask now that after this, how we got rid of quasi-judicial with our zoning several years ago. Does that apply to the Board of Adjustments too, or is it still quasi-judicial?
General statute's required to be quasi-judicial.
Can't change that.
That's right.
Because we did change it. We had,
Yeah.
our whole zoning thing used to be that way.
Yeah, a lot of local jurisdictions did some aspects of their zoning but through quasi-judicial frameworks, and it got to be complicated.
Yeah,
So,
that's why we
yeah.
changed it.
yeah.
But it has to be by statute, it
Yeah.
has to stay, be quasi judicial.
So basically, what we're saying is that it will go back through the zoning and planning board, because they have their own board that oversees the zoning and planning. And so they will have to have a hearing, or,
It'll be the zoning board of adjustments, if they want to apply for a variance.
okay, all right. Just making sure.
That's my understanding.
Yeah, and I really do appreciate y'all coming and sharing this information with us, and sort of walking us through the steps of what you've been through. And it's a lot to have gone through. And I know this board hopes that everything can work out. You just got to go through these proper channels and proper steps to get there. But don't give up. I think you'll be fine. I think, that's my opinion. I would be in favor of if I get a say in that, of allowing this to happen for you. So you got my support.
So, let me understand this. You were first approved for a double wide to be put on there?
No.
We wanted to put a double wide on it,
Okay.
but because of the terrain and everything, it would be better just to put a single wide in the same spot, because there's no, it goes down in the back and there's a big rock in the front, so there's really only one spot that you could put a single wide. So as a family, they would want, like a bigger single wide to,
How long was the other mobile home there?
60-something. It's an old trailer.
yeah.
65
But-
by 14.
Let me make sure I got to understand it. But you did get an approval email from the county saying it was you were cleared to go ahead with the other single wide mobile home.
That's what she handed us.
Yeah. I just won't hear it straight from the horse's mouth,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like being told one thing, then told another.
Right, right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Especially when money gets involved and you don't spend that much money, Tell me up front, can I do it or I can't do it?
Right,
Yeah, that's the way I like to do business with people.
exactly.
So maybe Jeff can get all this cleared up.
All right, Rick,
Just
one last question.
one last question. How much difference is in the size of the two mobile homes? You said that, but I didn't hear it.
300 square feet.
Yeah, give or take, about 300 square feet. Yes, sir.
It's 10 foot wider and 2 foot,
Water.
2 foot wider and 10 foot longer.
Okay. That answers my question. How much longer, wider? All I have is sure.
But still, it would be far away from the septic. It's not within 5 foot or anything like that.
No, septic's okay.
That's what they were told.
They've already talked about getting the variance for the well, which will, be okay. Like I said, the only thing they're concerned about right now is it's that little setback. I mean, it is. And like I said, this is an old gravel, old dirt, mostly dirt road, gravel road. Unless the county has got some type of, future investment on this property over here. Hasn't been touched in 40 years, and there's probably gonna be another 100 years before it gets touched again. But, like, one other issue is there's a huge piece of granite right there. I mean, the amount of money that it would take to try to drill and pop that piece of granite right there, just to move a single wide trailer, you can buy 10 trailers for that. You put it somewhere else, but this is a good little spot, these are good kids, they work their tails off, they go to work every day, they have babysitters for the children. They're not on drugs, they're not out drinking around, they're not on welfare, they're not doing any of this stuff. They're trying to be good American kids that people are proud of, and that's what they're trying for, whether they're sick or they're not sick, they're at work, they're doing something,
Based on my previous understanding, or what my previous understanding of the situation was, is that the existing home that's on the property is an existing nonconformity. It already violates setbacks, and it's okay to replace like with like. In other words, the same size home and the same footprint, as long as you're not exacerbating the nonconformity.
You can't be grandfathered in.
Unless
Well,
it's a
it can be grandfathered in. They could have,
It's the
you could
exact
replace
size.
with a home of the same size in the same place and the same footprint, but making it larger violates our ordinance.
If I would've been told to us originally, that would've been fine.
And we would have understood in the beginning.
Yeah,
They, you know,
I get it.
We're not gonna hit any single wide or fine.
Yeah.
So that's where the issue is now is, it's all one thing, now that it's almost here.
Yeah, I wonder what they.
Oh, sorry, that's all we get is, we apologize for the mistake.
And I think that's what's brought them, all of us really, to your doorstep today. You say, well, why are we here? We should just be finding variance. Well, that's exactly why. They thought they already did everything that needed to be done. And it cleared through all of us. We thought it cleared through you. And or through the zoning and planning. And then and that's why we're at your doorstep. We just kind of said,
Jeff,
Take it to the top.
I'm sorry. To call Eric and set up a meeting.
I'm sorry.
This group of people are supposed to call Eric and set up a meeting.
I'll have him contact them.
Okay, and he's on vacation, I'll tell you this right now.
Yeah.
So,
It'll be next week, I think. I think he's back next week. Yeah.
all right. Well, thank y'all for coming.
Thank you.
You too.
Good luck. We'll be in touch. Thank you.
Get comments from the managers and commissioners and kick it off, Sonia.
All right. Thank you all for being here again. Merry Christmas and good luck with everything. Just Merry Christmas to everybody out there. And I was glad to see on our discussion agenda we would talk about one meeting in December next year. And since I need to go back to work, I'm going to keep my comments short. So that's it.
Okay, Wayne.
Well, like I said, great to see everybody. Wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Everybody watch the live stream and have a Happy New Year. I'm good.
Great. Welcome to everybody, either in the room, which we have one audience member left. Welcome to the meeting. For those online as well, we hope everybody has a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I think there's a lot of optimism out there with the recent election. I think we got a lot to look forward to in 2025.
Just want to say thanks everybody for tuning in and the people that just left here that, you know, for the public comments. We appreciate hearing from the public. That's what we're here for. Wish everybody a Merry Christmas. And when we roll back first of the year, we're going to kick it in high gear, right, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
And
Start
working on strategic planning and then our budget, and we got a few other high ticket items I think we're going to have to discuss, but looking forward to next year, and again, just have a very Merry Christmas.
Amber, you got any comments?
Just Merry Christmas. Hope everybody has a good holiday.
Jeff?
Thanks. I got one thing I'd like to comment on. Dr. Rice and I have been meeting monthly, and we'll continue to do that going forward, if not more frequently, in an effort to create maybe a little bit better common understanding of school issues and concerns. And this month, we started touring the school facilities. And so last Friday, Friday morning, he and I went out and took a look at King Elementary, Pinnacle Elementary, and Meadowbrook Academy, and it was kind of eye-opening. And we'll get around and see all the rest of the facilities as well, so that we have a better, like I said, common understanding of what those facility needs look like out there.
Good to hear.
Merry Christmas to everybody. Also, one thing I want to do, and I promised him I would do this, in Eric's defense, there was a meeting postponed on Thursday night, and it was not Eric's fault. I want the public to know that. And when we have a meeting schedule, there's not a real good system yet to where we can't get the word out other than sticking a poster on the door of the Reagan building. And if it makes you feel any better, the ones that drove, I didn't get any special treatment either, because I drove over here and turned around and went home too. So
What meeting was that?
We'll talk later.
I thought maybe it was something I was supposed to be at too. I wasn't
No,
sure.
you weren't supposed to be
Okay,
at it.
good.
I just
Okay,
come
good.
as a citizen.
Oh, okay. All right. Good to know.
All right, conflicts of interest. Before moving further, is there any board member that has a conflict with any of the items on the agenda for today, or one that might be perceived as a conflict of interest? Approval of the consent agenda.
Motion to approve. Go ahead.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have nothing for information agenda, discussion agenda. Scott, you're up. I'll put it in high gear now, Sonia.
Okay, I'm
Keep
ready.
mine short.
I'm ready.
The policy for the fire service district and fire commission service use plan, it's,
Don't do that to me.
it's been in, the last time it was revised was in 2022. It has to come before you guys every time there's new commissioners that come on within 90 days. So this is just a breakdown of what you require. The fire commissioners kind of list out their jobs and what the service district money can be utilized for. They're just looking at getting this put back on so that we can continue on with it.
I mean, can I ask a question?
Yes.
So, personally, I mean, you don't need this put on action tonight or any time real quick, right?
The only thing that I think that it says, Amber, is it has to be approved within 90 days of the new commissioners coming on.
So January should be
So,
fine.
so yes.
Yeah, 'cause
You don't go into action for the next.
yeah, I got a few questions and comments that I think we just need to discuss. I just don't want to rush into something to make sure makes sense.
Correct. I was just here to make sure if you did have anything that I could answer today.
Yeah, January should be
I don't have any comments or questions.
Wayne?
I don't right now.
Okay.
I don't right now either. Thank you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
fine. Do you want to move it back to discussion for the next meeting or action?
No, I think discussion.
Discussion in the first meeting in January.
That would be good.
Thank you.
Surplus personal equipment, property, excuse me.
Good afternoon. I have a piece of surplus property, which is a 2016 Chevrolet Silverado. It's a 2500 that we removed from service. This is a little different than we normally do because normally I put them on Gov Deals, they sell, we do the title work, and they're gone. But this one, when I started doing my research on it, I was happy, but I got a concern that it could go over the $30,000 threshold, which is what I'm approved just to proceed on and post and go on with. So I wanted to come to you all so we could follow the general statute in case it does hit that mark. I don't have to stop the auction and come back to you all at that time. So this is kind of in hopes it hits over 30,000, but it may not, but I wanted to make sure I had all my paperwork in line. So, and with my research, they're ranging from a vehicle with more miles than this one, anywhere from like 24 to 36, 37. So, like I said, I don't know that it'll hit that, but I just wanted to come to you all and have my resolution in place and everything just in case it does. Anybody has any questions?
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Just real quick, I'm just thinking outside the box. Y'all probably already went through this, but so would there be another use for that vehicle within the county government if it's or is the maintenance and the mileage kind of put it out of whack for?
I don't know of anyone inside the local government that would utilize it. I haven't had anyone to ask internally for it. I've had a lot of externally, but not anyone like another department say, hey, Glenda, we could really utilize this or anything to that nature.
Is it
Most of the
diesel?
vehicles are, no, it's gas. But most of them are departments that utilize, are like the smaller type trucks instead of the larger.
Just checking.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
That's all I got, Mr. Chair.
I don't have any questions.
Do you need us to move this to action?
If you could, that way I could go ahead and post it,
Anybody got a problem with that?
and run the advertisement, and that way the resolution's covered. Like I said, I don't know it'll hit it, but I just got a little concerned when I seen those numbers.
Where did it come from?
The fire marshal's office. It's the burgundy truck, if that helps anybody know which one it is.
But it's a Chevrolet.
Chevrolet. 2500.
Are you up next?
I am.
Lease agreement amendment with Forsyth Tech Community College, Stokes campus.
I've been working on this for a few months. Amber and I actually been working on it prior to Jeff coming. But our insurance with the NCACC has told us they will no longer cover educational buildings of any type, like that actually is a school. So we actually have, the only things that we had on the policy that were listed as that were the Forsyth Tech, the early college, because our lease agreement stated that we would carry the general liability and the liability insurance on those buildings. So I've been working with Ty. I've talked with them. They are in agreement to pay it and then us reimburse them. And I worked with Ty to do an amendment to the agreement. So I'm coming to you all to let you look over it and make sure we're still in agreement with everything. But that's why we're having to do it, is because our insurance is no longer going to cover it. So if anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer those.
You know how much more it's gonna cost than the would with the
With our pool, it doesn't break it down into, because all the buildings are covered in one lump sum, so they really couldn't give me a good estimate of what just that one particular thing, because we get a better rate because we carry everything. So.
Does this need to be moved?
It doesn't necessarily have to be. It can wait till the next meeting to move to action. It's fine.
Okay.
Just totally up to y'all.
Remember, I'm on that board for the insurance, and I don't remember us discussing, taking educational buildings off. I'll follow up and find out why they're doing that.
Command decision.
My understanding, when we mentioned it to them, when they kind of told us, the reasoning we got was they had a lot of work, and I think it was more on the coast area, the counties that are on the coast, but apparently the destruction that had come through and the cost of replacing the schools or educational buildings were greater than, and so that was the answer I got, because I was like, why would you not? They're in local government. And that was kind of the answer I got. It was kind of a ratio of the destruction they had to pay out in the past versus, I guess, on just regular government buildings.
Well,
Check on it.
the kind of, it's probably not a question for you, but maybe for the management team, it's kind of hit me. So for our schools, for our local schools, our high schools, middle schools, so it's, I guess, kind of the same way the school gets their own insurance, and then we just reimburse, because we give them the money because it's part of the budget.
Yeah, that's my understanding, because Lynette and I talked about the pods over there to make sure everything was covered that's on that campus. And so that was my understanding from her, that they carried the other for all the schools.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else for?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is King Planning Board ETJ appointments. Amber.
So I was contacted by the City of Kings clerk, Nicole Branshaw, about Jerry Messick. He has served for quite a while on the planning board and the Board of Adjustments for the City of King. And he doesn't live in the ETJ, but I guess at that time when he was appointed, they couldn't find a representative for the ETJ. But he has served for a while, and they think he's a valuable part of that board. So they've requested that that the commissioners approve for him to continue serving in that ETJ role. The City of King, the council has already approved him to do so. They just need the commissioner approval as well, since he's in the ETJ appointment slot. So it's kind of up to the commissioners on that part.
So he don't live in the city limits? Is that what you're saying?
He lives in the city limits, but not in the ETJ.
You gotta live outside the city limits.
All right.
Yeah.
Required?
He's been serving. I'm going by what I've been communicated from the clerk's office. Well, it may be.
I think it's in the ETJ, but it's not in the city limits.
Okay, well then that's even better.
Yeah.
I was going based off of the information I was given, so.
Okay.
It's probably within a mile of the city limit.
Yeah.
So it's in the ETJ.
You're fine. That's even better then. So,
That's a really good job.
yeah.
Really good job.
Yeah, he's good. Jerry's a good guy.
I mean, I assume they've already done their own, advertising process on their end, since they've already approved it. It would be for another 3-year term, I believe.
We're all for it. Move it to action.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So
I
we
think
don't,
they have a meeting tonight.
so we don't have to like close the nomination and all this other stuff that we do for all of our other
Well,
appointments?
typically for our boards, but since this is, I guess it's up to the commissioners what you want to do. Since the city council's already approved him to continue serving, and it's the City of King's planning board. If you want to open it up, we can certainly advertise. We didn't have it posted. This just came directly from the city to our office.
Bless you.
I think we just
Approve it.
prove it and move on.
I say so too.
I'm fine, I'm fine.
Move it to action.
Yeah, I don't see no way to open it up.
And we're moving that to action today.
Yes.
All right, JCPC appointment request.
So the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council got in contact with me, and as you know, they have quite a big board, and they voted to recommend that the commissioners approve Stacy Worthington to be one of the county commissioner appointees on the council.
It's a vacant position.
Yes.
It's not,
Yeah.
it's
And
not,
there's several other vacancies on the council. I think this is hard to find individuals who are willing to represent on that council, quite frankly. So, the county commissioner appointee, we've had it advertised before, and it is difficult to get people. So apparently they found one and have recommended them to us, and the recommendation letter's attached from them. Somebody who's willing to serve.
We need a nominator.
Yeah. Since this is one of our committees, that'd be great.
We do it now.
I'll make a nomination. I'll nominate her.
Second.
All in favor?
We can just move to action for the next meeting. That's fine.
Okay.
To Paul.
December Commissioners meeting for 2025. This is I'm behind this, so.
I'm
I don't-
seconding it.
I don't see.
I got some discussion.
Discuss away.
I thought, gosh, we're really Scrooge. To have a meeting on the 20th, and I know y'all working, but still, just don't sound right.
Yeah. Agree.
Recommendation I would make is put parentheses as needed.
Well, yeah, if we got something urgent, we're gonna meet.
So would you advertise it with as needed?
Well, the calendar's already been advertised. We approved it a couple months ago. So I would just post a notice of cancellation if the board decided to cancel that meeting. Unless you want to keep it scheduled until closer to time until we see.
Just keep it as needed, and then you decide sometime in December whether they're gonna have it or not. Sure, worry you cancel it, some crisis gonna come up and you're gonna need to meet right then.
What's the easiest way?
It's already
It's the same amount of.
I think it depends on how how often you think you're gonna deviate one way versus the other, you know, because if you publish it as part of your ongoing calendar, then if you don't do it, you have to just advertise to cancel it, right? Whereas if it's not on your calendar, then you have to advertise a special meeting if you want to use it. So, what do you think is most likely? Not to do it or to do it?
Well, and for 2025 specifically, it's already been advertised because, you know, we approved that calendar a couple months ago. So that would just be a cancellation notice, like.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, for just 2025. But going forward, it's up to the board.
If you had it on there as needed, you'd still have to advertise it if you didn't do it.
That's right, yeah.
That's correct.
I say just leave it, but with the intent that, you know, I agree with
It's gonna be
Keith.
as needed.
Yeah, yeah.
We decided the previous meeting if we're doing it or not.
I would hope we could decide earlier than that. From
Maybe the last meeting in November.
At least.
Yeah, we can do it earlier than that.
As sure as we cancel, something will come up.
We're intending to not need it. Right, Keith?
Put it on the agenda for November.
No, last meeting in November. Got it.
All right.
Get off that last meeting in November.
I meant first. All right. I've lost track here. How many action?
We got 2 items. The first item is the surplus personal property that Glenda presented.
Surplus, yes. All in favor?
I'll make a motion to approve giving our purchasing director the authority, if the bid comes over $30,000, to accept it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the second item is the King Planning Board, the ATJ appointment.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Say
Aye. Waiting on you, Keith.
It's Sonia.
It's not me.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. All right.
Adjourn.
Aye.